Hi everyone, Happy New Year! Today I'm going to talk to you about how to make room for creativity and limit distractions. So if you've been thinking about writing that book or starting that business or even developing your own business or changing careers and you haven't really been able to get your head around doing it, because you're finding excuses like I don't have time or time flies, etc., then it's perhaps due to some of the practices you're having at the moment. The topic today actually comes from my own experience. I've been recently complaining about my own sort of days, how time flies, and how I'm not being able to get much done. And I would still get things done, like on my to-do list. Like I would get things like I need to go to the bank or go to the post office or call this client or complete the project, etc. I would still do these things, but I wouldn't have time for something much more important, which is allowing my creativity to be let out and to express itself and to create more things or more products or come up with better solutions or better offers for my clients or even my potential clients. So today the topic is how to make room for creativity and especially limit distraction. I think this one is a little bit tough one. But the first thing that you need to do, because I'm giving 5 tips. The first one is to plan out time for creativity. Meaning, you do plan out time for working out or for going to a restaurant with a friend or for this meeting or the doctor. I think you should be doing the same thing for creativity. You could have time slots in your agenda, saying, for example, thinking, or it could be brainstorming, or it could be reading or getting some inspiration. You can actually time those slots. You would say, I need half hour, I need an hour, or I need a whole entire morning or an entire afternoon. You're the one to decide how much time you would need for that activity and how often you would need those in your planning. I think this is very crucial because it's going to push you to challenge yourself and get out of your comfort zone, because it's so comfortable to just be doing the things that we can do like a robot. Like, alright, I need to go to the bank, get those bank statements, go to the bank, go to the bank, go to the bank, or I need to send those letters. Alright, it's so easy to, at least you can, if you don't have like someone you can delegate to and you're doing it yourself, that is so comfortable to do it. It's you're thinking less about strategic think. By scheduling your creativity moments, you would actually get deeper into your thoughts and allow yourself to express yourself and your creativity and come up with new things and new ideas and new businesses, new products, new services that you would like to offer. So plan it out. Tip number 2 is to control your information intake. I've been suffering from this recently because I would turn on my computer, loads of emails to deal. I would turn on my phone because at night I put it in your airplane mode, and in the morning it starts like beeping, beep, 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 beep. So it's coming from WhatsApp, Viber, Skype, Instagram, YouTube, Google+, Facebook, and all that jazz. Just notifications, groups. So my tip on this one is really to declutter. Are you still a fan of that page you signed up to like 4 years ago on Facebook? So if the interests change, if the interests have changed, then you probably need to sign out. Because we as people, we evolve. What I was interested in 4 years ago may not be something I'm still interested in today. So you need to take that time to sort of look at your accounts and say to yourself, do I need this? Do I still need this group? Do I still need to be part of this group, or still be following this page, or even sometimes something further, would I still need to be friends with this person? I mean, if you have too many people on your account and you don't want to receive notifications from them, you can actually deactivate them, and that would be useful for you. So that way your brain only deals with what matters to you and what matters to your business or your career or whatever your purpose is in life. So that was my tip number 2, which is control your information intake. Tip number 3 is you need to determine the time and frequency of your browsing. It's so tempting to stay all day online, browsing Instagram, People magazine, Entrepreneur magazine, Facebook pages, watching videos, looking at the photos of my friend's wedding, etc. But this is such a time waster. Do you know the average person spent an hour and 40 minutes on social media in 2015? An hour and 40 minutes a day? That's huge. I mean, in an hour and 40 minutes, I don't think we spend that much time doing anything else. I don't spend that much time cooking, or that much time meditating or praying, that much time eating, or that much time. It's huge, an hour and 40 minutes a day. You do the math for a month or for a year. I mean, I don't want to even go to that, but that's a lot of time. So this tip is actually something I'm currently implementing, meaning control the time I'm spending online, especially online. When I say online, it's really social media, and unless you're a social, how do we call that, community manager, then of course your job is to be online all day. But if your job is not to be online all day, then you need to time that time and say, all right, I can have like 10 minute breaks in the morning and in the afternoon, checking, browsing, or I can even check my mail and my Instagram photos and whatever when I'm waiting, like at the doctor's waiting room, or waiting at somebody's appointment, but not during my work or most productive time of the day. I think this is very important when you limit yourself. That way you're not being scattered around and your thoughts are being focused, and you're allowing your brain to produce something, to come up with something, rather than feeding it with so many information and images and videos and news from the world that may not interest you, but you're actually helping your mind to give the best out of itself. You can still plan out moments for inspiration. I mean, you may tell me, all right, Instagram is good for inspiration. True, Instagram and other tools are good for inspiration, but you can go back to that tip number 1 and actually plan time for it, where you can actually look out the accounts that you're interested in, but in a sort of more organized way, rather than looking at the same image 4 times during the day and reading the same status 4 times a day. I hope you get this point. Tip number 4 is, this one is a tough one, because sometimes you need to turn off your notifications, especially if you want to produce, invent, create, come up with new things, or bring value to people. You need to turn off notifications. I mean, those continuous beeps throughout the day, they're so annoying. I mean, I receive so many beeps now that I'm like, I can't take it anymore. And I feel like I have to tell my friends and family that it's just like too much. So my tip on this one is, especially when you're trying to come up with something new, or to create or to invent something, is to turn off your phone, ideally your phone completely. But if you can't because you have an employer or you have clients or partners, then you need to turn off the social media notifications and email stuff. So that way you can get the most of your time and get really deeper in your thoughts and ideas. Which leads me to tip number 5, and the last one is people really don't expect you to be reachable on Viber, WhatsApp, Skype, IMO, whatever tools. What you need to do is to choose 1 or 2 tools that you'd like to use. Ideally in the professional world it's just phone and email. And say to your friends and family and etc. that you're reachable on those tools or apps, but only when you're in. Meaning that they should not expect you to respond quickly. And if it's really urgent, then they should either ring you or email you, depends on what you choose. And that should be known to everyone, that if they, for example, Skype you, they shouldn't expect to respond so quickly. You would respond when you get the time for it. This is very important to let people know. When you let people know, you feel like less under pressure to respond, and you're like, sorry, I'm dealing already with phone and email, it's way enough for me, and you're limiting all the distractions that could be happening on your tablet, iPad or iPhone or whatever, and you're allowing yourself to free your mind from things not helping you to give the best of yourself. And just like Henry Ford said, I'm going to read his quote. He said, thinking is the hardest work there is, which is probably the reason why so few people engage in it. And it's so true. I so feel this quote. I mean, I feel it, because thinking is not just something that happens when you're washing the dishes. No, I mean, everyone thinks differently, certainly, but if you want to come up with new strategic things or with new ideas, then your mind should be just clean. So it's fine to say no to your friends if they're inviting you for a coffee, or if they need you for this or that. I mean, do not feel bad about saying no. You came to this world for something bigger than just eating and sleeping. And I think you should really make time for it, to either discover what it is if you don't know, or make it really happen. I hope this video will help you make the most out of your time, out of your life. Please share any comments you may have about this topic, or if you have any other tips, that would be wonderful to exchange ideas. And let's stay in touch. Have a wonderful January. Bye-bye.